I've always believed success looks simple from the outside. But the deeper I looked into Hollywood stories, the more I realized something felt repetitive. And Matthew McConaughey's journey quietly confirmed that truth for me. The image Hollywood created. For years, audiences saw Matthew McConaughey as the easygoing leading man. Romantic comedies, charm, confidence, everything looked effortless. Films like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and The Wedding Planner made him a reliable box office name. But behind that success, a pattern was forming. Studios continued offering similar roles, reinforcing a familiar image. He later shared that the industry wasn't pushing him toward different kinds of roles. Instead, his success in those films made it more likely he would be offered the same type again. The more successful those roles became, the harder it was to step into something new. This wasn't failure. It was a gradual form of typecasting. The moment he said no. At the height of his career, McConaughey made a decision that surprised many. He stopped accepting roles that didn't challenge him. This wasn't a small shift, it was a complete pause. According to documented interviews, he turned down major offers, including high-paying roles. The result was immediate. Offers slowed down significantly, and fewer major projects came his way. For nearly 2 years, there were limited opportunities. That silence wasn't random. It reflected the risk of stepping away from an established career path. What Hollywood really did. In later interviews and reflections, McConaughey explained something very clear. The real pressure wasn't rejection, it was success. Success created expectations. Expectations led to repetition. And repetition gradually reduced creative flexibility. He described how constantly saying yes made it harder to choose different paths. Decisions became less about long-term purpose and more about maintaining consistency. This aligns with his career timeline, where similar roles reinforced a consistent public image. Hollywood didn't block him outright. But the system naturally favored what had already proven to work. The comeback that changed everything. When McConaughey returned, everything looked different. Films like The Lincoln Lawyer, Mud, and Dallas Buyers Club showed a completely new side of him. These roles were deeper, more complex, and far from his earlier image. His performance in Dallas Buyers Club earned him an Academy Award, not just as a comeback, but as a turning point. What changed wasn't just his career. It was control. He no longer accepted roles to stay visible. He chose roles that aligned with his direction as an actor. Final thought, a quiet lesson. Looking back, this story isn't just about Hollywood. It's about what happens when success starts shaping your choices. At 56, Matthew McConaughey didn't reveal a scandal. He reflected on a career pattern. And maybe the real lesson is this. Sometimes the hardest thing isn't chasing success, it's stepping away from it to rediscover your direction.